Welcome to Through the Wire.
Through the wire.
Man, it's December 1st, y'all. It is grind season for a lot of us, and it's NBA season for everybody. Derek, I feel like we ain't talked to you in a few days. What you been up to, bro?
I just been chilling, bro. Working out, just enjoying myself, working on myself. Just I don't know, just working on life. Honestly, that's all I'm doing. That's
He
all
been,
I've been on these last
he
few
been
days.
active on Twitter, man. I see him in a lot of them replies on some familiar accounts too.
Hey
I keep
man,
seeing the same account he replying on too,
let's put
man.
it out there. The man's a flirt. The man like R. Kelly, he a flirt. You know what I'm saying? I be
I
seeing
think
him
he's
under
flirting.
Hana Hoops. I be seeing him under the Mary Girl account. I be seeing him. You know what I'm saying? That boy shooting his shot indirectly. You know what I'm talking about? So, I'm wishing
It's,
him all luck.
it's crazy because I never look at it as first. Like yesterday, all I did was say that Nurkic would have a breakout season next year, and then KB talking about big simp.
But we all have fans who make some of the same tweets, and I don't ever see you replying to them when they have the Audi and not the Innie. Like Blackwing. Blackwing makes a lot of debatable
I could
tweets.
respond to Blackwing's tweets.
No, you do. You have, but I'm just saying, like, Peyton.
It's a little way. It's a little way you be
Okay.
responding under them tweets though. Like you be looking for some attention. You want that response back.
Hey, the
He ain't
extra
trying to get
thing is when that emoji is in it. That's how you know. That's how you know, bro. Either way, happy
Nah.
that you are
Y'all probably
growing.
gonna be on the same shit.
What you say?
When y'all get single, y'all probably gonna be on the same
When
shit.
y'all get single, what are you wishing on us?
No, no, no. if it was to happen.
Listen, the world don't basketball Twitter don't want me to be single no more, because I would mess up all of the shits. You know what I'm saying? I'm happily in my relationship, but I do know if I was single, I be seeing a lot of people under a lot of different people things. I would just fuck it all up.
The man said, "When y'all get single."
Crazy. Crazy.
What
We
about
miss
you, Mike?
We miss you when you're on the Xbox. Just to let you know.
Thanks. Nah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Happy our pro am team moving back in the right direction, man. It's been a rough couple days. For those that don't know, like this ain't never happened to us before in the world of 2K. We were on like an 8-game losing streak.
You
in a
don't
row.
have to tell people that.
I
And
got you. Man.
another thing I
'Cause
want
it was really
to
hurting me.
say for what KB just said. Where is the number 8 coming from? It's like you magically pulled that out of your head.
We didn't. We went 2 days without a win, and we was playing like 3-4 games.
What are you talking? That's cap. P, tell him that's cap. Tell the world that's cap. We didn't go that long without winning.
It is cap, and secondly, you got to put context behind things. Like, I am on my 4th build, and the last 2 days we played, I wasn't playing with my guys that are 92 and above.
Mhm.
We've had games where we bust people ass. KB went to center. John came with a new build. I had a new build who was below 90. So, it happens. That's why it was a rec games. Those weren't pro-am games either.
The point is, though, I'm happy we moving in the right direction. Other than that, I'm doing good.
But what I want to say to you too, Mike, because I like how you was great yesterday as a team leader. Because my dude ain't there yet. And I missed some layups and shit here and there. Mike, like, that's okay. That's a good shot. That's cool.
That's all it is about.
When you grind your dude, he gonna make them. P, I know. So I like that leadership from my point guard out there, man.
Hey,
I gotta give you credit when it's due, because I am quick to discredit a motherfucker.
I appreciate it. I think we got a lot of talent on that team.
I think so too. And finally, P, how you doing on this Tuesday?
I'm a piggyback off Mike. I love the direction we was going. I'm a piggyback off D Mills. I miss him. I like that he getting his shit together, but I do like when he in the game at the end of the day recapping with the fellas. You know what I mean? That's what we do. That's the routine. Even if we ain't playing, Terrence ain't played no game yesterday, but he was just in the party because you just it's our way to socialize while we can't socialize. So, but yeah, I'm grinding my dude. If I could turn my camera around, people would see my badge screen in front of me. I just got a new playmaking badge. And I do like our team. I do like our team though, man. I just think John is hilarious. The nigga John was playing with that thing yesterday.
Bro, for like 2 hours, bro.
Okay. Trying to figure out the name, first of all, of the build. And then He ended up not making it because he said he didn't want to put the $50 in there. Why were you ever fucking with it then? You wasn't going to put $50 in there, Brody. You just wasted 2 hours of your time.
That's his exact words. Like, as soon as he was done, like 2 hours later, he was like, now, do I actually want to grind this dude?
Yeah, like all of the things that he knew he was going to have to do, he contemplated. Do I want to put the 50 ball in there? Do I want to grind him?
Hey,
he's a character.
So today is the beginning of December, and all the teams have reported to training camp. So it's official that basketball is gonna be coming back.
You're not gonna say how you doing?
I'm always good, man. I'm always good. Never
had
a bad day in my life.
Got a couple packages this weekend. Especially from that 100 Thieves package.
Shout out to 100 Thieves, man.
I waited for my package too, baby.
Waiting on mine too.
All game, we out here, man.
Oh, you're gonna be waiting for a little while for the call game stuff to come through.
That's fine.
But yeah, training camp. You're gonna see a lot of quotes. You're gonna see a lot of footage of people just running. So it's officially that time. I got a few questions for y'all going into this season. We're gonna do like a real ranking and thing like that later on before we get to the real regular season. But everybody give me like 3 teams y'all super interested in going into this season.
Phoenix Suns.
Okay, give me your reason for the Phoenix Suns, because I agree.
You said give me my reasoning?
Mm-hmm.
Chris Paul, the Chris Paul edition. That's him and Devin Booker. I want to see that. And then DeAndre Ayton's emergence. I want to see how him having one of the best pick and roll players we've ever seen in the game, how that evolves with him. I feel like he can learn a lot from Chris Paul in that pick and roll. And then you have him and Devin Booker. That duo will also be very good. So I like the Kevin Johnson. I forgot his first name.
Cameron Johnson.
Cam Johnson, yeah. And I want to see his emergence. This whole team is going to be very fun to watch.
I think that's a good answer because I think we all probably have them in our playoff picture, which is a good thing for Phoenix Suns fans. And what I've been seeing, which is good for team camaraderie, is Devin Booker has went back and retweeted a bunch of tweets that he had about Chris Paul from the past. Like tweets from 2017, he was just retweeting. 2013, he was retweeting. And we saw like a day after the trade happened, they were already in the gym working out, which is like, Phoenix fans should be super fun, super happy about the things that's going on. I still don't like. They had said that they were gonna change to the fellas, but then I just saw something recently where they were going by the New Valley Boys after Kelly Oubre is gone. I don't know what the team name go. I know they should just change to the fellas. Just change it completely because that was a Kelly Oubre thing. But either way, agree, Derek. That's a team that we should all be excited to watch.
You got any more? He said 3, Derek.
Brooklyn. The Kyrie Kevin Durant duo. We ain't seen Kevin Durant play basketball in over a year, and when we did see him, he was arguably one of the best player in the league, you could say. So yeah,
I think that's another good one. I was reading an article and they were talking about Kevin Durant, and they've been doing a lot of different runs, and I don't know if any real footage has come out of Kevin Durant in a run recently, but they were saying he is more explosive. And I feel like I hear that every time somebody's coming off one of those big injuries.
They said that about Derrick Rose. It was like he's an inch taller, he's more athletic, and.
But the thing about Derrick Rose though, because I watched his rehab videos that he had put out around the time, and the reason he said he was saying that is because a lot of the athleticism and things he was doing pre-injury, it was just God given. So now when you break something down and you have to rebuild it, he said he was learning how to balance. He was, because he was saying, people don't know I have this 40-inch vertical, but my balance was terrible. They was asking me to stand on one foot and I was falling over. So being able to control my body now is just as, it makes you, he doesn't have that same probably 44-inch vertical or whatever he had, but he still took it as being able to balance, have control over my body, knowing how to stop, go, all these different things that we don't look at. Makes him feel like he's just as explosive. KB is right though. We always hear this guy is, even more explosive. They saying it about John Wall. Like, hey, John Wall is killing in these workouts. So I definitely think it's interesting to see because these are top of the line players. So it could be right. But no, I think Brooklyn is a good pick. My bad. I ain't one. Yeah, I think you got one more D Mills.
Y'all think that we might be overrating Brooklyn just because they have this top end talent?
No, because I think when you do have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, you're the top 3 team in the East easily. I feel like.
I think when you compare them in the East, it's probably a lot more simpler than just like if they were out the West. I think it would be a lot more like they would actually have to work. Like they would have to know how to play together and how to win together. Out East, I think their talent could, they could actually be a top 1 or 2 seed if their talent was there.
Do any of y'all pick them to win the East right now? Just like off the top of y'all head, would y'all pick them to win the East?
Yeah, because I last saw Kevin Durant, I don't think anyone in the East was stopping him, and I feel like he could definitely carry a team through the East. It's just a matter, can he carry a team against one of those Western conferences?
The only reason I'm saying no is not because of anything Derek said, and I could be totally wrong. We're all just predicting, but for me, I'm always reluctant to pick that team that's in their first year together, unless it's like the Warriors, and they're in a lot of firsts, right? Like it's Nash's first year. You got Amari, his first time coaching. This is Kevin Durant, Kyrie, as good as they are. It's their first year that's going to be sharing the floor. This is the first year for the rest of the guys to play with a fully healthy Kyrie and Kevin Durant, like Spencer cares. So whenever you have that much change in the first year, I kind of have to give you a little wiggle room. So if they don't make it, I don't think we have to bash them, even though mainstream media will. But I always try to give that newly built team at least a year. Unless it's like the Clippers. The Clippers was talking shit. The Clippers asked for they was talking shit. They was up 3-1. You know what I mean? And that's what comes with it when you rah-rah, like Pat Bev and the rest of those guys. Marcus Morris, I love them, but stepping on Luka and doing that shit, that's what comes with it. But if Brooklyn doesn't, I'll give them the wiggle room. But if they did win it, I wouldn't be surprised either, if that makes sense.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I think they're a super interesting team. Just with like their 2 top guys, like on their own, they haven't been able to get over that hump. It always took like, KD and the Warriors, or it took LeBron James with Kyrie. I think that it really just comes out. It's really going to depend on like how they come out. Because when I look at comparing to the other teams in the East, when it comes to the playoff time, I see like there's a weakness, right? With Giannis and them, like you could build the wall. Ben Simmons and Joe, we know what what their weakness is. When it comes to KD, if he's on, ain't nothing you could do, So that's the thing that gives him the edge. But again, he ain't played basketball in over a year, and we don't know what, is he going to be the same MVP type KD, or is he going to be maybe 80% of that? Is he going to be 75? We don't know yet.
Isn't it been like a year and a half? Like it was the finals of 2019. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. You make an interesting point, Mike, that they haven't been able to get over the hump, as like the guy of their team. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because what we may see is them go get a guy, right? Like the Harden situation, they're going to try to, invest in if it comes plausible. So how would y'all feel about that? Like,
I hate the idea.
Huh?
I hate the idea.
Yeah, would y'all rather see them win just with them two, so it can be like boom, or because it's like Mike just made a great point. I don't want to be that guy because Kyrie ain't in arguments to be the greatest ever. I think it only matters when you're in that top tier. But these are 2 guys that, when they are the guy on the team, they haven't been able to get over the hump. And I mean, arguably, you can say Durant was the guy if you're a Durant fan. He was a guy for the Warriors, but. Come on.
Yeah, but then the guy they're going to get, he also has had the same struggle with James Harden. He hasn't been able to get over the hump with any team he's put together. So
if they put together and win, it's still like that's not getting over the hump for KD or Kyrie because you just got James Harden.
Right.
Yeah. I was thinking more of just like overall fit to get James Harden would just be. I don't think it would work out. I mean, we're past the point. That's like some 2K shit. It's like, let's just get the best players available, and it's going to work because 2K only worries about the overall. I don't think that's the way the NBA works, and I think we're finding that out more and more every single season, where it's like you can't just plaster together the best team and expect them to be successful. Like the Clippers are a perfect example of that. They had a very, very great team, but we knew once we hit the locker room, things were a little bit different. We just saw Montrezl Harrell go from one locker room to the other because he wasn't really rocking what the Clippers are really doing. It's more than just putting together the best top-end talent unless you have something like the LeBron thing. Like LeBron and the Miami Heat, that was like one of the only times we just put together 3 superstars and it's going to work out. And then it didn't even work out that first year. And then the way it ended wasn't great either. So it's just
Yeah,
like
they basically underachieved.
yes, facts. They did. They definitely did. You will take 2 championships 100%, but like that's less than what you thought you were going to get at the end of the day. Because it happens where like in order to get James Harden, you're gonna have to throw right, not 3. And they went on and on. But to get James Harden, they'd have to throw in the whole team. Like every player other than Kyrie and KD will probably have to be in this trade. And now you just have where the Miami Heat struggle was like. You have these top 3 guys, and after that, now we signing these vet minimum guys. We're gonna have the oldest team in the league because now we have 40-year-old Ray Allen, who was good because he had one of the biggest shot in NBA history. But just overall, the rest of the team wouldn't look good, and now we got to worry about fit of these players. Like, say what you want about LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, they made it work, and they had this fit to it. And it took a year to make it happen, but they had to fit, and a lot of that had to do with the sacrifice of Chris Bosh. Like, Chris Bosh in Toronto was amazing. Then you go to Miami, he's a spot-up shooter. Not KD, not James Harden, no Kyrie. None of these guys are going to turn into the Chris Bosh of the group. I can't see that happening, but somebody would have to,
Mm-hmm. Now, this is one of the biggest reaches ever, but I think it's just like, would this change y'all opinion? So say they had like all these like vets on the team or whatever. Would this change y'all opinion on seeing James Harden was like, you know what? I'm cool with coming off the bench. They can get their shots first. I'll come off the bench and then I'll run the show afterwards. He's still getting his 30 plus, but he came out and said that. But y'all be like, okay, maybe I could see it working there.
I don't know which coach it was, but somebody was like, it ain't about who started, it's about who finishes, right?
Yeah.
James Harden.
I mean, he's gonna finish the game.
Yeah, right.
He's gonna finish the game.
Yeah,
It was the coach that coached Patrick Williams, KB.
He did say that.
Yeah.
He did. Say
wait,
that.
what happened?
So, I don't know college coaches for Florida State. He was asked. There we go. He was asked why Patrick Williams didn't start. He said it doesn't matter because he finished. He's like, oh, okay, cool, nice.
Well, yeah, Mike, your question was.
I can't entertain it, Mike, because I know he's not coming off the bench.
No,
Right?
it's no way.
I feel you. But I agree with everything you were saying, KB. I would just, but the one thing I will say is the more and more we find out that ain't necessarily the way to do things, teams are still gonna do it.
Yeah,
because they're gonna feel like our team can do it. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna feel like, and if we don't, it ain't our fault. It's the fucking players' fault. We did everything. We went and got the name of the game for the GM and the owners is to get the best players you could get. We did our part. Them motherfuckers couldn't figure it out on the floor.
I feel like when your top stars are friends with these guys, I feel like that adds more pressure to you because they're pushing for it more, and you got to satisfy your big stars. So if they want it, you're gonna probably go get it.
Yep.
Kevin Durant, James Harden, we know they cool, so he probably is pushing for them to try to get it. It's just when you do it not mid-season, but like after free agency, when everybody's signed, it's just not really wiggle room. There's nothing you can really do with your roster at that point. Like KB said, you're gonna have to sign a bunch of old heads that's still free agents.
Even if you do that before free agency, it's the same thing because the free agents can be out there, but you ain't going. When you have the contracts of Harden, Durant, and Kyrie, you're never gonna have wiggle room before, after, or in the middle. So that's just what you sign up for. I think that's why he mentioned the Ray Allens, the Chris Andersons. Who else did they have? What's my boy name? Carlos Arroyo was they starting point guard at one point. Mario Chalmers. You know what I'm saying? How many times did we see
They brought on Mike Miller.
dunk on Joel
They
Anthony?
had signed it though.
No, yeah, Mike Miller hit some big shots in that finals.
Yes.
That's a good pick though, Derek. Give me your third team.
The Warriors. I want to see how Stephen Curry come out and play without Klay Thompson. I feel like the stigma is that he's not good without Klay, and that Klay is. I feel like he's going to come out and he can have a big MVP year. We got James Wiseman coming in as like the best center that they've had, and then Draymond Green also had a very down year last year, and I think he's going to come out with a chip on his shoulder, something to prove. And then Kelly Oubre, Andrew Wiggins, all going to be in different roles on probably a legit playoff team for the first time, and I like it. I think that team can go deep, and we're going to get to see if Steve Kerr is a really good coach, if he can really come out and put together a system or schemes that can really help this team look like legit contenders.
You're a big James Wiseman guy, huh?
I like him, man.
You know the big fella got to love the big fella.
He got that footwork. He could step out, hit the 18, 15-foot jumper. He got a little bit of everything in his bag.
He just got a little. He looks different than the average D Mills favorite big, like LaMarcus Aldridge, Derek Favors body type. Yeah, right. He all slim and athletic and stuff.
Hey, Mike, what's little baby? What's the name of little baby album?
I don't even
Something to
remember.
prove.
You know, Mike don't listen to full albums. He just get the singles off.
That need to be the Warriors theme album. Like Something to Prove is their thing. Derek just hit on it. James Wiseman only played a few games. He got something to prove. Kelly Oubre been traded twice in the offseason. For him to be who he is, he definitely has something to prove. Draymond Green with the year he just had, something to prove. Motherfuckers think he's done for. Steph Curry without Clay or KD, something to prove. Like that's just be that Kerr, something to prove. Like I think that's the team. That's the theme of this team. Is that a lot of them just have chips on their shoulders because they have something to prove. Huh?
Wiggins too. They say
Oh yeah, my boy. Yeah, my Wiggins. Yep.
Are they contenders though without Klay Thompson?
Hell no. Hell no.
No.
Hell.
No. They need that sniper, boy.
Yeah.
My boy Derek said deep playoff run. I'm like, oh, he mean like the real deep playoff run.
Hey, if they went to the finals without Clay and it was Game 7 and Steph Curry went to shoot a game-winning 3, I would jump up and block it. I don't even want them to win without Clay. An idea to think that they can exist without Clay, because I agree with. I don't want to say I agree with the notion, but I do think Klay Thompson is an instrumental part of the rise and success of Steph Curry's career. Yeah. That's not to take anything away from Steph, but I think they do need each other and have helped each other catapult to where they are.
Yeah, I know Kelly Oubre and Andrew Wiggins isn't Klay Thompson, but last year when Steph was playing, can't remember who they start lineup was because they had some pieces. But the guards that they had in there, they were just
Russell. And probably
Russell wasn't there.
Skinny.
Maybe. I know they was just pretty much doubling Steph.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you take a look. Steph shot like 20% from 3 last year. He only played like 5 games, but he shot like 20%, which is like when you look at his player card and you don't realize that he only played 5 games, you would think that man fell off heavily that one year. Heavily. All right, that's 3 very good teams. D Mills. What about you, Mike? Give me the first of 3 teams.
I got 3 teams. They all out east. First team I'm gonna go with is the Hornets. I'm excited to see LaMelo Ball, and also they added Gordon Hayward too, so he's going to be an important piece. I think they can have a chance at a playoff run. Second team.
Wait! You got to give us time. The reason we're doing this, so you say a team, we talk about that team, and then we move on to your second team. So, Charlotte, I think you actually said everything. Never mind.
I'm excited to see PJ Washington. He had a really good rookie year. I feel like he can really come out and be real good in the second year, especially having LaMelo and Gordon Hayward. Like 2 real good playmakers he can have next to him. And I'm interested to see how their lineup looks. Because this is D'Angelo Russell. I mean, not D'Angelo Russell. Terry Rozier, LaMelo, and
Vontae. I feel like Vontae is gonna have to come off the bench to start off with.
It's funny because he was their best guard last year.
Yeah, but his game, to me, his game fits that 6-man role.
It does.
He came out and said I think he said at college, like they had even the 3-guard lineups, or just like where he played with a lot of guards, and it kind of worked best for him because it's just
I think Rozier got to be the one to come off the bench, man. I know he's being paid 19, but I feel like Devontae Graham helps LaMelo better. He can catch and shoot off LaMelo and play off him, because if you put Rozier out there, LaMelo kind of is going to be guard, but like Rozier got to be a guard. Like that's the way Rozier is lethal. Rozier ain't lethal by just sitting off playing to the side. So that's a good pick. I like the team though. I agree with D Mills. PJ Washington is intriguing. We know the names of the team. The people I'm locked in on, I want to see what Malik Monk is going to do, because he should really be their 6th man if we're being honest. He should be one of those guys for them. And then the Martin brothers. I like Cody Martin a lot, so I want to see the steps that he takes, because he's been one of the most underrated defenders in the league. And Miles Bridges, Kyron's guy.
That's so funny.
It's hard to think of Miles Bridges or see him and not think of Kyron.
Yeah, no. What happened to Malik Monk last season? I'm trying to look it up. Didn't he get suspended for something?
Drugs.
Okay.
Pretty sure that happened in the offseason.
I feel bad. He's got a game, man. It's just like when you're a 6-man, the way he plays, it's just hard to be like consistent, especially when you're not a consistent player. Like that's how you earn your minutes, is like we can rely on this dude to come off the bench, give us 15 points, give us it. He's a dude that he maybe give you 16, he may give you 0 points. Like
I just think his game You know, they talk about the lost art of the NBA, like that's the mid-range game. That's not his game. That's not what I'm saying. But I think what he's supposed to be is like a lost art in the NBA, which is the I'm a shooting guard in a point guard's body, and I don't do shit that a point guard does. Like the Lou Williams. Lou Williams is a rarity in today's game. Monte Ellis fell off the face of the earth like that because the game just don't. Those 6'2", 6'1", like I'm literally in a point guard's body. I'm actually smaller than point guards, and I don't do shit that a point guard does, and I'm just trying to score. Those guys don't thrive in the league like that no more. Donovan Mitchell is like the star status guy who's like a 6'3" shooting guard. Then you got Lou Will who comes off the bench. Am I forgetting anybody who's like a 6? Who?
CJ McCollum at like 6'3".
But I would even say he's like a 6'4". Pushing
his proportions are like he's got long arms and stuff. He looks a lot taller, I guess.
But Malik Monk looks small as hell when he out there to me, man. And he, like I said, if he's not even a combo guard, like some of those guys, they at least are combo guards. Like I could see Tyrell Terry with the Mavericks. If he may not ever be the point guard because he's playing with Luka, but if he's out there and Luka sits, he could run an offense. And then when Luka comes back, he's playing off. Malik Monk ain't running your offense. Or looking to play make at all.
Don't do that.
So I'm rooting for the guy though because I think he has game, and I think he can be explosive off somebody's bench. But I'm trying to think. I don't really know many 6'2" DeJuan. Do y'all remember DeJuan Wagner?
Yeah, of course.
No.
Like those don't exist no more. DeJuan Wagner, one of the greatest high school scorers ever. D Mills went to play for Memphis with Calipari. Went to the Cavs before LeBron came, and they were supposed to be like the duo, but he had something wrong with his he had a bladder infection, something serious that almost lost his life. His son is now a 5-star recruit.
His son is
hooping. Him and LeBron both have these star-studded high school players. So yeah, but check out some DeJuan Wagner highlights. You're gonna be like, that motherfucker cold.
He was nice with it. I remember when Larry Marketing got drafted. And the people on TV was like, we don't understand why they would take him when a for sure guy like Malik Monk is still on the board. So, you know, just a lot of things really, really change when it comes to this draft stuff. People are for sure, and then they not end up being. What'd you say, P?
I remember being pissed we didn't get Malik Monk. Was Malik Monk taken like right before Frank or right after?
He was taken 11th and Frank was 8th.
Yeah, I know. I was like, damn, why not Malik Monk? I wanted Laurie for Porzingis, Laurie front court, but once Laurie was taken, I'm like, let's just get Malik Monk, man. That's just
I ain't watching much in college, but I seen like a few of those games, especially when they played that game against Lonzo. They played UCLA. I was like, my man's is a bucket though.
Yeah,
like,
he had a 40-point game against North Carolina.
Yeah, like he was actually like that. So I can see why people was really high on him though.
I want to see. I'm still kind of high on him, to be honest. I just think that like when we talk about like for like what KB just said, there's a for sure guy at like you can't say that about a guy who's like. Let me see what they got him listed. Yeah, they got him listed at 6'3", 200 pounds, and it's just been inconsistent for him. Because I remember we talked about this last year on the pod, or maybe it was before. It was last year. And I was saying Malik Monk will have a 20-point game. Then he have 3 games where he has 2 points.
Right, yeah.
Then he have a 29-point game, 4 games where he has 3 points. So it's just like, you know, that's another thing too. It's hard when you're not getting that consistency in your game. Because when I look at his game logs, yeah, he started off the year, the first game in 2018, he had 18, 11, 15. He had 20, 21, 16. That was all consecutive. Then he go 4 points, 6, 2, 0. 15 points again, 26. Then he went 7, 2, 2, 4, 10, 16, 9, 7, 9, 19. Didn't play the next 2 games. 13, 8, 5, 9, 21, 0. These are all consecutive games. 21 points one game to 0. Then right after 0, 16. Then right after 16, 5. Then 24. Then back down to 7. Like, these are all, I just read those all in the line. Like, just inconsistencies. He had a stretch where he had 0 points. Then the next game he went 14, 16, 20, 18, 12, 7, 4, back to 0.
man went on a little roller coaster ride.
Like legit roller coaster.
That's a good team though, Mike. Give me your second team.
My next team gonna be the Hawks. I just like how they built, man. I think the pieces that they already had, they're gonna get better, and then they added a lot of talent. Talk about with Bogey, and then they also added Gallinari, so they added shooting, and then they also added Rondo too, which I really liked. Um, why are you looking like that?
Because I'm waiting.
I like Rondo. He's a dude that's gonna give him that playoff experience. A team that I think is a question is what is their floor like? What is the team? What is how many wins can we expect this team to have looking at their roster?
Okay, you didn't mention Chris Dunn. That's what I was waiting for, but okay.
Man, forget Chris Dunn.
You talking about forget Chris Dunn? He gonna be that staple, that wing defender that they need. You tripping? He don't watch Bull. He didn't watch Bulls games. You go watch Hawks games, you gonna be like, damn, Chris Dunn actually nice as hell on defense. Can't do nothing else. But okay, what is the floor of this team? So we're talking about with a 72 game season. I think the floor would be like a 36 game, 36 wins would be the floor to me. What'd you say, D Mills?
You said 36 wins?
That would be the floor to me. I mean, make it like if nobody gets injured and nobody important ends up contracting the virus. Because y'all know if they contract the virus, they're out for 12 days at the minimum, which is usually going to be like 5 games. So if Trae Young, God forbid, ends up catching it, he missed 5 games, they're going to be in trouble. And I feel like a lot of teams kind of fit that as well. So on a perfect healthy season, I think that would be their floor. But I think their ceiling will probably be like whatever the number is to get like maybe 6 seed, 7 seed.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that. I mean, when I was trying to just make it a little bit relative, like, because, obviously we're missing 10 games. I was thinking, like, maybe if we add those 10 games, maybe they go 5 and like 5. So maybe they end around like 40-some wins into like a regular season. Like, in the East, that's
literally that's what I said, though.
Yeah, but whatever. In the East, that seems like a 6 or 7 seed, though. So, like, and that was their floor, too.
Yeah.
So I think there should be high expectations for this Hawks team.
Yeah. Contrell's floor was 36. His ceiling was a 6 seed. Right. Not the ceiling being, not the floor being a 6 seed.
Yeah, you said the floor was a 6 seed.
Regardless, the team got expectations.
No, I'm saying what KB said. If your thoughts is that their floor is the 6 seed, say that.
No, I'm saying I was comparing relative to what he was saying when they were like 36 wins in a 72 game season. I'm just adding the wins, just like I'm thinking of it relative to an 82 game.
That's the same, but basically what we said, they're on the same pace. They're gonna be something and something. 41 and 41, 36 and 36. I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
For me, when I think of the Hawks, I gotta look past this season. Don't think they're gonna do shit serious. They'll make the playoffs cool. But I look at the things surrounding that. Like when for instance, I played like the My 2K thing on 2K, just trying to get a feel for it. I was the Pistons. Our first game was against the Hawks. Cam Reddish didn't play because they have like literally in 2K, and I'm playing 12-minute quarters. He played garbage minutes. He played like the last minute because even 2K knows you can't play that many players. Somebody falls out of the loop. We already know Gallinari is coming off the bench for John Collins. I'm assuming Clint Capella is going to start, which means now Onyeka Okongwu comes off the bench. Hunter has to probably start at small forward, and then you're going to have Bogey and Trae. Now off the bench, you have Rondo, you have Okongwu, you have Gallinari, you have Herter, you have Reddish, you have Chris Dunn, who you signed. Everybody can't play, so I'm interested to see how that shapes up. Rumbling's already that John Collins could be the odd man out as far as the trade because of the money that he's going to want. They probably don't want to give it to him. I'm looking at things like that because I think they can make the playoffs, but I know when they do and if they can make the playoffs, they're not probably going to do too much. It'll just be something good for their young team. But I'm looking at the odd man out and how they're going to handle that because I think they put themselves in a position to where, they're loaded and they have some depth, but we know depth ain't always the answer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it'll be, especially when you have a team that's young and that you're trying to develop. Even if Cam Reddish does find a way to get minutes, is it going to be enough for him to develop his whole game? Same with Hunter and Herter. So, we'll see.
We definitely saw last season, like DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish, the second half of the season, they were really starting to come together and they was hooping. So, like, it's kind of interesting to see how that even works with that log jam at their position. Like, when you have young stars like that developing, like, and they looking and they're showing that potential, I don't think you should go get guys that will really like hinder their minutes, because you're gonna give those guys those minutes, and it puts pressure on them to not really come out and hoop. And I feel like you don't want to put that pressure on your young guys, especially only in their second season.
I agree.
I got a counter to that, bro. My counter would be they already got their guy, face of the franchise guy, Trae Young. He ready to go. It looks like I'm trying to get, my team is well prepared to get to the playoffs and get the best out of him so far. If that's demoralizing for the young guns,
at what cost?
If that's demoralizing the young stars that they don't want to play hard, then I mean, wow.
No, I think that there's some value in competition, right?
Right.
I don't want to just throw him out there because he's young and we spent the draft pick on him. I'm cool with him fighting with the other wings on the team for his minutes. Because at the end of the day, I think that'd be better for him, instead of being like, here, we drafted you at 6, so now you have to play 30 minutes a game so you can develop. How about you work your ass off and you beat this other guy if you really want these minutes?
Now, we'll go with that point of view. Now, what if he does outplay those guys and you just paid Gallinari that bag to not really play? It's like
that I don't think that's the thing, because Gallinari's third year is not guaranteed. It's like $5 million. Like, I mean, there are multiple spots. Like the guys that we're talking about, good thing about their wings is that they can run a couple different positions, right? Where DeAndre Hunter can be a 3 or 4, Cam Reddish can be a 2, 3 or 4. The way he defends, like there are different spots that they can run.
John Collins is a lock to play 35 minutes at the least. Not a bunch of minutes at the 4. It's just not. Like, I don't care how versatile those wings are. He's a lock to play that many minutes. Trae Young is a lock to play even more minutes, like 37 to 38 minutes. And even if he doesn't, Chris Dunn and Rondo, cool. Bogdan, for the money that they paid him, he's a lock to play 35 plus minutes. The wing is the only open spot, and those two are going to have to battle for it. And then hopefully, there's just an odd man out. Because even when I thought, when I just said that, I'm like, shit, they can just split that. But then technically, they really, somebody's still out. We still.
Right. I mean, but that's what they got themselves into by drafting two guys at the same position in the same year, right? So they basically like maybe one of these two guys will turn out, and if one of them do, then we hit the lottery. Right, like selecting Cam Reddish. I don't think they knew that they were going to end up with Cam Reddish. Because you remember he fell in this draft, and they were like, "This is gold. This is gold for us. We have to take this shot." And I mean, I don't know how these guys are going to develop, but I believe that Cam Reddish will be a better player than DeAndre Hunter when it's all said and done.
I think Cam Reddish will be a better player.
I think he'll be more diverse. I think
RJ Barrett.
I think he'll be more diverse than Hunter. Hunter just seems to me like the typical 3-and-D guy, which are very valuable in basketball. But like, I think Cam Reddish can literally will be able to create his own shot one day. And his defense is good too, or show flashes of that.
I literally look at him as like a young Paul George.
Yeah.
And his career looks like the same trajectory. Paul George was picked around 10 to 11. I think Cam Reddish was picked 10th. Both ain't come out the gate being the guy, because he had Danny Granger, he has Trae Young, and the guys in front of him. Paul George's first moment was guarding Derrick Rose in the playoffs against the Bulls. That sounds like what Cam Reddish will probably have to do in these playoffs if he's able to get the minutes. I'm not saying anything that they did was bad. I'm just saying, when I look at the future, I just want to see how they handle those questions, because they're going to come. That's just what it is. And if you have to get rid of some guys who have extreme potential, I don't know if it's worth getting the 6th seed at your highest. The ceiling being a 6th seed, I don't know if it's worth it if you're going to have to trade John Collins and Cam Reddish.
But I feel like I think we're probably looking too short-sighted, right? So the Gallinari contract is literally just 2 years guaranteed. And they could come up with, hopefully they extend John Collins because he's worth the money. I don't know if he's worth a max, but he's worth a good amount of money. And in that time, Gallinari ended up being 34, 35 going into that third year of his contract that's not even guaranteed. Like Gallinari and could be like this bridge to when it's time for us to really be the real deal, right? I think that's what hopefully that's what they got in mind, because he is a vet. He's a good locker room guy from everything I've heard, and he knows how to win. At the end of the day, he ain't won on the top level, but he knows how to help a team be competitive and win. And that's what Atlanta Hawks fans have been waiting for 3 years. And that's what Trae Young wanted. Like, the reason they made these deals is because Trae Young basically walked in the locker in the front office like, let's win. I'm tired already. I've been here for 2 seasons. I'm tired of this shit. So let's go get players that'll help us win. And they did that. What'd you say?
That's that. Put the pressure on them.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to fail you because they're not supposed to be in a situation to thrive. And then he's gonna get his way out.
That's a good pick, though, Mike. Go to your last team.
Anthony Davis recipe.
My last team is gonna be the Wizards. I'm super excited to see John Wall, man.
Yeah.
Like, if he can come back healthy, the thing about the Wizards, they're like one of those friendships that like you can not see him for 2-3 months. It could be years. But as soon as you see him, like you're like, hello, like it felt like y'all never left. Every time the Wizards got a healthy roster, I'm like, man, they could be a 4th, 5th seed out there. Like they got hoopers out there, and always looking back, like they never have like spectacular rosters or nothing like that. It's usually Bradley Beal, John Wall, and some decent players. They got nice young players with Rui, and they picked up Denny. But like John Wall and Bradley, they're pretty good at making the players around them better. So I'm super excited to see what they do this season.
John Wall got that boy Otto Porter that contract, and that boy wilding right now.
Had Gordon hooping out there, bro. Hooping,
bro, I can't believe that Otto Porter video is from this year, bro. It's got to be from last year. There's no way that was this year, bro. And I tried to find it, like, on YouTube or wherever. I can't find it. So
I don't
might
know what
be
video you're talking about.
Oh, boy. I think somebody put it in the Twitter chat. So after the show, check Twitter chat because
it's wild.
He basically, I'll tell you what it is. It's like a video of Otto Porter, and he's hosting a Halloween party, and he got some liquor, and he pouring it in women's mouths, and it's just like if this happened during a pandemic and he had this big of a party, he needs to be in some real trouble from the NBA. Let's be honest.
That would have been Halloween. They was dressed up in costumes.
But it could be last Halloween.
And no, it could be.
I'm hoping that it was last Halloween.
Now, what mask is hot in the video?
Not a single mask, but other than like Halloween mask, you know.
But right, that's what I meant.
Why would it have just, if it was last year Halloween? Why would it come out close to this year Halloween?
Yeah,
that's the thing.
We would have seen it last year.
But nobody gives a damn about Otto Porter. So like, making it, if it happened last year and having it surface this year, the reason it surfaced this year is because we're in a pandemic and this is a no-no. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Video of Otto Porter acting a fool during a pandemic.
That's funny. I hope
he in training camp right now. That's crazy.
His hair is long in that video.
That is, hey, that's all the detective work we need. This was this year, bro. Last year he wasn't rocking the dreads, bro. He just wasn't. That's pandemic hair. Everybody's growing their hair out because nobody wants to go to the barbershop. Wow. That's good detective work, P.
I mean, he did have dreads last year though.
Oh, he did?
I'm looking at Media Day right here on my phone, and it had
flashlight on.
Yeah, why is it on?
But where the Wizards, right? Okay, so the Wizards, yes, they also signed Robin Lopez.
Yep.
The only problem I have with them that might maybe be the reason why they're not as good is because their defense has probably sucked this season. Maybe Robin Lopez helped set a little bit, but they were like the worst defense almost of all time last year. And then they had like a real good offense, and then like halfway through the season, they real good offense turned into average, and then they were just real shit. But now John Wall helps that. Like, in order for them to be a playoff team with that bad of a defense, they have to have like the best offense in the league. They just have to. I don't know if they will. I doubt that they will.
I'm just anxious to see John Wall play. It's like the Kevin Durant thing. Just haven't seen him play in so long. We know some drama and some shit going on over there. One day a trade is requested. One day it isn't. One day he's being shot for Russell Westbrook. One day he isn't. Him and Bradley Beal always had some interesting dynamic. I think they have some underrated young players like Troy Brown, like Rui Hachimura. I like Thomas Bryant. You bring back Bertans. Denny is over there. So I mean, it's a lot going on over there. Just interested to see how they put it all together, especially in the East. They weren't too far out of it last year with Bradley Beal. They got the little invite to the bubble. He didn't go, so of course they didn't perform as well. But yeah, it's intriguing. They got Mo Wagner, Isaac Bonga, the LA guy. So
Yeah, when you look at that starting five of John Wall, Bill, Rui, Bertans, and Thomas Bryant, I think you can legit say in out east that if they're fully healthy, that's a playoff team. Um, it's just and the bench is solid when you do have Troy Brown, Shabazz, Napier, and
Robin
Robin.
Lopez, yeah.
Shabazz
like
Napier, free agent.
according to the roster, he's on the roster.
Well, yeah, if you're looking at Google, people who've been traded are still on their roster. That's why I haven't looked. Look at the Celtics, Gordon Hayward was still on there. Because when we talked about available point guard, Shabazz Napier name was mentioned.
It was.
It says that he last played for the Wizards, so he's
Yeah,
so free.
I'm on NBA.com and he's on the roster.
That's because they're not gonna take him off the team if he don't sign somewhere else until like the beginning of the media day. But yeah, I think I'm like 90% sure he is a free agent at the moment. As a backup, he's real good.
Did he still got Ish Smith off the bench then?
Troy Brown. Let Troy Brown be your point guard. He's good at this.
Come on, man.
Those 3 good picks though, Mike. Pierre, give me your first team.
Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh, okay.
Just feel like they got a lot of young talent over there, and now that Gallinari's gone, Chris Paul gone, they get to spread their wings and fly. Darius Baisley, y'all know I love me some Darius Baisley, super high on him. More minutes for him. Shea, we get to see Shea at his fullest potential with the full floor. I think this is the first time we've ever seen him with the full floor. And I'm interested to see how he responds. People respect him now. He's a name now. He's attention is going to be on him. He's a team's best player now. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how he responds to all of that. And then I'm interested to see how this Al Horford shit works out, because me and Mike have been talking a lot about him kind of doing the same thing Chris Paul did. Of course, not to the level. We always have to mention that. Not saying there'll be a 6th seed and he'll be an MVP candidate or anything like that. But if he can, show that he's valuable to somewhat of his contract, and they can then move that for some more first-round picks or young talent, I think that'll be interesting. And just the direction. It's the first time we're going to see OKC really just not be shit. So, and then it feels like that was what we said last year, and they were still good. Like, whenever you count them out, like, oh, Durant's leaving, it's just Russ. And then boom, he's triple-double, and they're going to the playoffs still. Oh, Russ and Paul George traded. Old-ass Chris Paul. Yeah, they're nothing. And then they somehow make something work. So we're going into this year, the same thing. Like, hey, they traded away Chris Paul. These guys, now Shea is going to have an MVP season, and they're still going to make the playoffs somehow, some way. But yeah, OKC for me, man.
I like that. I'm excited to see the European guy, Poka Sepsley.
Yeah.
Because I knew I would rather go into next season without knowing anything about him than to watch some footage. So like when we were doing our draft coverage, I didn't watch a single second of him. So whenever he steps on that court for the first time, it's gonna be the first time I've ever seen him play. So I don't know what to expect, and I'm excited for that. I just know that like in order for him to get drafted, OKC made them promise that he would have to come to OKC like the first year, so he wasn't gonna be a drafted stash, which is real cool. And during the draft, I think it was like 5 a.m, wherever the hell he was at. And like, I remember watching him, he's just at the table with like 4 of his relatives, and none of them are excited because it's fucking 5 a.m. Like, nobody has energy at 5 a.m.
He got the James Bond suit on.
Facts. But yeah, everything you said is true. I'm kind of afraid of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander statistically maybe taking a step back because of the stuff that you said, where like there's no Chris Paul, there's no Dennis Schroeder, like those other weapons that kind of took the pressure off are gone. I mean, Shea could be the type of dude like, shit, okay, I'll just average 25 now, but with less weapons, he's gonna see more great defenders on him, which is I would be a little afraid of. But I'm happy that the front office, Sam Preston, basically told the world that like we're literally building around him. He is our guy. Don't even call our phone because we're not picking it up if it's dealing with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
It's a great 2K roster. Like, listen to this name. They just have so much youth. Just so many guys that could just take advantage of these minutes. I'm gonna just name the young guys. Ty Jerome from Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
TJ Leaf from Indiana, Isaiah Roby, who we got a chance to see up close at the Combine, Admiral Schofield from Washington, Kenrich Williams came from the Pelicans, Justin Jackson from the Mavericks, Lou Dort, Shea. They still have Hami Diallo. They got Omer Yurtseven, who played for Georgetown, super big guy. Darius Baisley, and then they have some veterans sprinkled in like a Mike Muscala, George Hill, Trevor Ariza, Darius Miller. You have Josh Gray from the Pelicans. So I mean, I just like the fact that it's just and then Al Horford. So just a bunch of young guys. Now Ty Jerome, who barely played in Phoenix, he'll probably get 15 minutes out there. TJ Leaf, who looked great with Lonzo at UCLA. He was the guy.
I didn't give up on TJ Leaf, bro. I'm over it.
He looked so good at UCLA, bro. He looked so good, bro. He looked so good.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna be like just a weird team. My only concern was what KB said is just like having Chris Paul and Dennis Schroeder like to kind of take that pressure off you when you're having a bad game. Like that's such a comfort. He literally just gonna have to keep shooting, bro. Because who else is creating their own shot on this roster?
Yeah.
That's how you make a star, though.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be a fun year for him, though.
I think Lou Dort can have a somewhat of an emergence offensively. Like, can he somewhat consistently shoot the 3 ball?
Pick up off that Game 7 play.
I think if he has that, he's gonna be very fun to watch.
I'll tell you what, Demios, I don't know if he can do it. I'm not saying he won't do it, but what I can guarantee is the opportunity to do it will be there.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna get a lot of chances.
OKC
we already know how exciting he is to watch.
OKC always got them suspect jump shooters at the 2 though. They had Thabo Cephaloshin with the Andre Roberson. They can play. They can play defense though. They'll defend their ass off.
Say Darius Baisley is the guy to watch from OKC. I think this dude is super, super good. I think he has star potential, dog. Like literally that 6'9" frame, can shoot it when open, can put it on the floor to get to the rim, block shots, switch a bit. Dude got the full package. He just needs time to develop and play, and he has it now. And he's a part of that New Balance family that I'm supporting.
Haven't you been saying this since he was drafted?
Yes, I have been.
Good. You've been riding with him for a minute. Like,
yes, sir. Since he's committed to Syracuse, but didn't go. At New Balance.
What's your second team, P?
The Sacramento Kings. So many question marks all over. Marvin Bagley and his health. Think if Marvin Bagley is healthy and he plays how he can play, this team ain't that bad. And I know going into the years, we say that a lot about Sacramento because, but I think this team for real is not that bad. De'Aaron Fox is due to have another big year because of the last season. I know he wants to bounce back. He's such a competitor. Let me plug my thing into my laptop.
Yeah, I'll pick up while you're doing that. I agree. They were one of my teams on my 3, so I'm glad you brought them up. The front office is still kind of iffy when it comes to things. Like, you remember early in the season, they were like, don't even offer Bogdanovich nothing because we matching everything. We literally matching everything. And then they just let him go for nothing, which is like a player of his caliber you don't want to lose for nothing. I mean, they tried to with the sign and trade, but I mean, obviously that didn't go through, but you just don't want to lose it to a player like that. But and what they lost, they did gain, right? So they draft at 12 Halliburton, which when I was talking to him, he was saying that the reason that's the perfect place for him is because a lot of the things that he needs to develop, De'Aaron Fox got, and vice versa. So I think that they can work very, very well together. I don't know. We still don't know what the hell is happening with Buddy Hield. But the rest of the roster, like he said, ain't that bad. We just a couple years away from them being this close to the playoffs. So it's not like a lot of things haven't changed with that team since then.
Yeah. I think Halliburton is a great replacement for Bogey. But like he has a similar game. He's not the shot creator that Bogey is, at least not yet. Probably never will be. But as far as playing next to De'Aaron Fox, we know his catch and shoot is out of this world. Hopefully Buddy Hield can get some starter minutes and be happy now. I think it's past the time to get traded, so he's going to have to play some chunk. And I think if they start off as good as they can, or at least, somewhat relevant, I think it could change hearts. And if he can, all guys like Buddy Hield want to do is be successful. You know what I mean? And if they can get him to have successful games early, they can repair their relationship. And then, like I said, Marvin Bagley, man, they have some vets over there like a Harrison Barnes who you can play some for. You got Rashawn Holmes' confidence up last year. I think you had a good draft getting guys like Robert Woodard. Who else did they get in that second round that I like? Jamarius Ramsey, I like. So I think they have some good things going on over there. Jabari is still over there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he took his option. Yeah, he's still there.
And this is a good step for Luke Walton. I think this is this is a make or break for him. As long as that team is healthy, he has some excuses with the injuries and whatnot, but it's time for him to step up and show that he can coach, man. Because a lot of people was on his ass calling for his job and whatnot. But I like this team.
Yeah, I feel like last year a big part of their struggles was the coaching. Like he changed their whole offense. Where
He had to.
He had to. How did
He had so many injuries. He had to. De'Aaron Fox went down. I mean, I think he had some bad decisions, but I think some of those things when De'Aaron Fox went down, they put the ball in Buddy Hield's hands. I don't think that was the smartest move. But what else were you supposed to do?
Yeah, De'Aaron went down with like a high ankle sprain and missed like 10 plus games. Yeah.
Even when he came back, they still was playing slow.
They had one. Yeah, they had one of the slowest paces in the league. I think that
He's gonna come back and fix that in 7 games.
That's funny. I think this team's just gonna be interesting. Just because like there's a team that struggles so much, and I think that it's hard to see the success in them without like wins or anything. But this is a team that's gonna have to find that, like, especially this year. Like they might only win 20 games or something like that. They could win, not that many games. But I think finding like Marvin Bagley, maybe he's healthy. De'Aaron Fox takes a leap. Tyrese Halliburton, like he's going along just as high. Like all their players, if you can see the direction is going in an upward trend, I think they could take that season as a W.
Yeah.
What's your last team, P?
The New Orleans Pelicans. I've been on their ass all off season just because I feel like some of the moves they made didn't kind of complement the young core, and I think that's what you want to focus on when you get all those guys for Anthony Davis. And you get fortunate enough to draft Zion Williamson. I think you want to kind of compliment those guys. If not, then what was the whole point of trading Drew Holiday? Right. If you weren't going to compliment these guys, I thought that was what that was for. You trade Drew Holiday to open up opportunity and to use your best player or most valuable player other than the young guys to go put some pieces around them. And you did the opposite. You got guys who, like Bledsoe, who's a solid, but I don't know if he complements this or helps Lonzo in any way. Steven Adams, don't know how he complements Zion in the front court, but they are good veterans. So, I mean, I have to give it a shot and see where it goes. But on paper, I'm not liking it. And I felt like there were different avenues and routes they could have went to make their team, somewhat better. I don't think this is a team that should be eyeing playoffs. Like, yeah, you want to win. You want to make the playoffs, of course. But you want to put guys in their position to reach their fullest potential. Like, there's no sense of making the playoffs if Zion isn't becoming who you need him to be. The fuck is the point? Because to make the play, like, that's the Knicks. Like, the Knicks fans, let's get Russell. Why? We'll make the 8th seed, but is it helping RJ Barrett for our future? No, then fuck the playoffs. And I just think that mentality has to be a part of it, man. Trying to taste the playoffs if it's not. Making the playoffs is cool if Zion and Brandon Ingram are becoming who they want to become. But if they're not, I don't know if it's worth it. And that's just my whole thing. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, when you look at the roster, do you really think it's even better than the one they have with Drew Holiday? I think having Drew Holiday as that better fit makes them a better team, honestly. And I feel like they could have easily still been pushing. But I know they probably wouldn't have been able to keep Drew Holiday because I know he probably wants to stay and compete. So they had to get rid of him now while his value is high. So I could see why they traded him. It's just the pieces that they got in return. Maybe that was the best offer on the table. Maybe they felt like that was the best offer. They did get a bunch of picks in return. So in all honesty, I wouldn't have turned it down. When you get 5 picks.
Mm-hmm. Now, I see what you're saying, though, D-Mills. Like, is this team better than last year? The only way that they would be better is because you're going to have Zion for a full season, hopefully. But like on paper, I would agree with you. I think last year's roster was probably better with Drew Holiday instead of like Eric Bledsoe and Steven Adams instead of, so I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
Oh,
just nothing from Mike about the Pelicans at all. No.
I got beef with the Pelicans, bro. How they doing my boy Lonzo. I like they pay my boy B.I., but I got to see what they do in my man Lonzo minutes before I start saying stuff about them, especially positive things.
Okay. We'll wait and see.
You got a lot of competition.
He definitely going to have to win that starter role, I guess.
Bro, you better be freaking out playing Eric Bledsoe over there.
That sounds like a competitive train.
Oh, my God, man. What is they doing?
What are they doing? I don't know.
They're fighting that training camp.
My first team is the Houston Rockets. I'm guessing that what they got is what they're going to hoop with. They're not trading Russell. They're not trading James Harden, at least not right now. And if you take what they had and then you add Christian Wood and Boogie Cousins to it, like this team and a new coach, Steven Silas is going to come in. He's not just going to run no 5-man out, hopefully. This is an interesting team. Like, when you have James Harden, you'll guarantee yourself a playoff spot because that boy don't miss games and he very rarely miss shots, it seems like. So he's going to put up a bunch of points for you to make the playoffs. And now they're more diverse. The small ball thing, cool, was fun 1-year experiment, but they have bigs like Christian Wood, 4-5, Boogie Cousins, 5. They actually have some depth at the 5 position. And that's going to help James Harden at the end of the day. He don't have the vertical lob threat that he had with like Clint Capella or Dwight Howard. But the offense should be different. It should be more flowy, and that's what they need as a team. So, playoff team, interesting team. Probably not a contender, but they should be fun to watch again. And it's not just going to be five out.
And their glue guy, their locker room guy will be happy in PJ Tucker. He won't have to be down there bullying with the
He
big.
won't be happy until he gets contract.
I mean, when you playing 40 minutes at center, I feel like I would be unhappy too. But now you take that away and you're able to play more your natural 3-4 role where you just shoot threes and guard offensive weapons on the perimeter. I feel like that's more so your thing. I would be mad too if you took away my role and told me I had to do something.
But money is money. Always, everything you're saying is true. But they can change whatever. But if he don't get paid, that was his big thing in all season. PJ Tucker is unhappy because he don't like the way his contract has been handled. So they can do whatever they want to do, but if you ain't gonna handle that contract, shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think
it's
just gonna be
have to prioritize that because, like you said, he is their glue guy. That's all.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like I know there was a lot of criticism with like the way Houston played over the last few years and like the ISO ball. Like a lot of people they didn't think it was that fun. I actually enjoyed it a lot.
Of course you do.
Yeah, because that's just my type of game. But I think their offense, like KB said, could be just fun again. Like it's gonna have that fluidity, and also it's gonna be interesting to see how Westbrook come out too. Because I mean he's already said that he wants to move on too, and if they can't make anything shake, right away, it's just gonna be, weird.
It's gonna be fun to see James Harden in that normal offense where he doesn't have to sit up there and ISO for the whole game.
That would be amazing.
That's how it was when he first got the Rockets.
Like maybe that fatigue doesn't hit him in the playoffs like it normally do. Mm-hmm. Maybe he can actually keep going and make a push.
Dorsey said he never wanted to play an offense like that. They got my boy from New York too, Kenny Walton. I think he's gonna be a live threat if he can get some minutes. They got Kenyon Martin Jr. Interesting. They still have Eric Gordon. They picked up Sterling Brown.
They also picked up Gerald Green.
Yeah, they brought back Gerald Green. Right.
Okay, I didn't know that. Look I like Gerald.
If it could be similar to like how he played like his first like year or two with the Rockets, because when he first went there, he was their point guard, not like ISO type stuff, but he was actually like running their sets. He was getting everybody their touches and everything, and he was also still getting his 30. So if he could do it like that, then hey, you might have to just move Russ as soon as you can.
And a lot of people give credit
to
Steven.
What are you talking about, Mike?
You talking about James
Harden.
Oh, I said Gerald Green. I thought he was talking about Gerald Green.
No.
Yeah.
30 points.
In 2K, the Gerald Green always got a fire jump shot every single year.
He can dunk on anybody.
But yeah, coaches from Dallas were giving Steven Silas the credit with the offense that turned into like the best offense of all time with Luka. So we should see. So I think that's fun. My second team was the Denver Nuggets. They lose Jeremy Grant. Okay, they gave him the same money. You can't do much more than that. They tried to give him the contract. But Michael Porter Jr. is going to have more time, and he might be my pick for most improved player this season, y'all. And when we were in that bubble, it was moments where he would catch fire and he was unguardable because even if you had a hand up, he's got like a Tracy McGrady type jump shot where he's going to jump his highest to release that ball. And if he's 6'10" and he's jumping his highest to release the ball, you're not really getting the contest. So they may have lost out on Jeremy Grant, but I think we're about to see Michael Porter Jr. take that 4 position and just run with it and tear it up.
Yeah, I feel like that's when you saw them at their best, when they actually let him be out there. And I know they're going to miss Jeremy Grant because he was a big reason why they upset the Clippers, because he was the dude that was guarding the Kawhis and the Paul Georges. But that just puts more pressure on Michael Porter Jr. that he needs to step up and play that role. He has the athletic ability to defend. It just seems like he just mentally just don't even try. Like he just gets destroyed. So I feel like he's going to be more focused. He's going to have that more motivation. And I feel like he can definitely be that guy, like you said, that could be MIP.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to have one of the best offenses in the league, right? And they might not play that much defense, but they're probably going to be outscoring a lot of other people. I mean, if Michael Porter Jr. could develop into a 15, 24 scorer, and he's, still relatively young, he's going to be their third option,
Yeah.
and he's going to have that type of talent he does. So I'm going to be interested to see how they're use their offense.
Yeah, I'm not asking him to lock up. I just asked him just to give some effort.
Yeah,
He's big enough to where he just needs to give some effort, and he'll impact defense.
If he's average, if he turns out to be an average defender, that's amazing for the Denver Nuggets. That's all they really asking from him.
I agree. I think but I think defense for a lot of guys like that are a team thing. So it's helpful when you have a guy behind you or in front of you, being that defensive general. They just don't have that guy. Having a vet like Paul Millsap helps though. So I like their team. I feel like losing Mason Plumlee and Grant, they're just in such a position to where they're still fine. You still have Jamal Murray and Monte Morris. I love Monte Morris as a backup point guard. Gary Harris, Will Barton, shooting guard type thing. Small forward Will Barton as well. Paul Millsap and Porter Jr., Jokic, and then you put Bol in whatever way you want to play him. I don't think Bol is a center, probably like a 3-4. We talked to him and he
told us specifically he liked playing the 4. He told us specifically he liked playing the 4.
He on the Anthony Davis stuff.
Yeah, big body in for him. And then they have guys like PJ Dozier, who I like, just been a part of their system and team. So they picked up Marcus Howard, who was one of the best scorers in college basketball the last few years. So if he can go in there and get some shots up. And I feel like they lost Torrey Craig.
They lost Torrey Craig too. They lost three really good rotational pieces for them. And I think that's another part of why they are interesting. I don't think they still have found a backup center for the roster, unless it's somebody I'm just forgetting off the top of my head. They lost three real rotational pieces. Torrey Craig was a big part of their defense. Jeremy Grant was a big part of their defense, and Mason Plumlee was one of the better backup centers in the league. So yes, they lost a lot of pieces. I wouldn't expect them to be as good this year as they were last year because of the lack of depth. Jermichael Green.
Will Barton, I'm hoping he can stay healthy, but
I say a hard time for the Rockets.
That's kind of.
And they drafted Zeke Naji.
Facts. Okay.
I like him.
My last team is the Minnesota Timberwolves. They spent a lot to get D'Angelo Russell to the team, including the first round pick for this year's draft. It is protected lightly towards the top, but if you were to tell me, if one of y'all came back from the future after the season and told me that the Timberwolves were still bad, I would be like, that makes sense. They tried to make moves to help out right now, but with everybody else out west also getting better, it's just they might still end up being a bad team. They're gonna be fun. They're gonna be fun as hell to watch, though.
Definitely, that's what I was about to say. They're gonna be bad, but with Cat, D'Angelo Russell, and Anthony Edwards, they're gonna be very fun to watch. There's gonna be a lot of highlights, a lot of buckets. They're gonna give up a lot of buckets, but overall, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fun. I think this is more so a year to see the development of D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Edwards and Town, just see how it all works. Rubio's now in a new addition. So just figuring out rotation, figuring out where you need to plug in holes and where you need to fix. I think that's more so what they're going into this year.
They spent a lot of money on them guard positions this year. They draft Anthony Edwards, they extend Malik Beasley, and they trade for Ricky Rubio. But their wings are bare as hell. Yeah. Josh Okogie, Jared Culver, who rumors say that they don't even love to start off with. I don't know if they have a 4. Who is their 4?
Jared Vanderbilt or my guy from the Nuggets, Herman Gomez.
Exactly.
It would probably be Herman Gomez. It would also not surprise me if not to the effect that which happened to Phoenix, but if Ricky Rubio actually did bring a little bit of just the taste of winning to this team. Just because he is a dude that's gonna tell people where to be. He's a floor general and he's gonna get everybody involved. D'Angelo Russell, he does that, but we know what Ricky Rubio can do.
Yeah,
but what's the role of Ricky Rubio? Is he starting on this team?
Has to start. They signed Rondé Hollis Jefferson as well too.
Oh yeah,
it really goes into the direction. If they're trying to win now, I think he does start, and it goes that way. He does get a big chunk of minutes, but if it's for the development, then I don't see why.
So what does their starting lineup look like to you? So it's Ricky Rubio, D'Angelo Russell. This
would be
Edwards at the 3, 6-3-3.
Edwards is
He might have to come off the bench, man. And they have maybe have to bring in the Kogi for the defense.
They don't really have any big wings, or they could.
They don't. Because Kogi like 6'4", 6'5", and that's like your
small.
3.
I'm sorry, Anthony Edwards is 6'5". Yeah, you're right. He is 6'5". Yeah, my bad.
So you can put Anthony Edwards at the 3, I guess. Then Rondé Hollis, no.
Bro, defensively, they getting their ass toe up, bro.
It is.
Oh, man. But it'll be fun.
Athletic has 2 projected lineups that I'm seeing right now. They have one where they don't have Anthony Edwards start, and they have one where he does. The one where they don't, they say this is the playing it safe lineup that they're projecting. D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Josh Okogie, Juancho Herman-Gomez, Karl Anthony Towns. They have Let the Pup Run, which is D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Anthony Edwards, Herman-Gomez, and Towns. And then they have Playmaking on Point, which is Ricky Rubio, D'Lo, Edwards, Herman-Gomez, Towns. And then super subs, D'Angelo Russell, Kogi, Edwards, Herman-Gomez, Towns. So that means you have Edwards and other guys coming off the bench. Confidence booster, which is D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jarrett Culver is your starting 3, Herman-Gomez, and Anthony Towns. So
it's just their weird roster. They just have so many holes. But like we mentioned, they should be fun. It should be fun with D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns and see what Anthony Edwards can bring.
Play at their full potential. This team is not bad. Karl Anthony Towns has to be an MVP candidate, though. D'Angelo Russell has to play like an all-star point guard.
Right.
Oh, wait, for him to be
Anthony Edwards has to play like a rookie of the year.
Are you indicating that they're going to be like in the playoffs? At their full potential?
He's saying for them.
Yeah.
For them to be in the playoffs, Karl Anthony Towns got to be fucking James Harden. He's got to play at an elite level like every single night.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But we'll see.
As you get paid the big bucks to do, Towns and Russell.
So that's it, man. Those are every member of Through the Wire's 3 most interesting teams going into the season. We appreciate y'all watching this one.
I hope nobody feels bad we left their team out, but y'all see how long 3 was.
Yeah.
Clippers, I'm looking at your ass too.
Yep. That's it, and we'll see y'all on Saturday. We out.
Peace.
Mike.